Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the first panel for Wallofornia 2022. My name's Sudha. It's a pleasure to be hosting the panel today. And there's no better way to kick off than with the artists themselves. You know, after all, the artists are at the very heart of what we're all doing here, really. So, as a musician myself, the idea of this is really to shed some light on the real needs of the artists today. You know, the relationship between innovation and technology, and also to discuss some of the challenges that potentially artists are facing. So I'm delighted to have Arabian Prince himself, Sarah Serra and Tete on the stage today to join us. I could sit here and introduce you. I'd rather you did that yourself. So do you want to take a minute or so to do that? Would you like to go first?
Sure, I can do that now that Ted is here. Hi, Ted. Anyway, I'm Arabian Prince. I'm known as one of the founding members of the rap group NWA. I also am the CEO of GOAT, which is a streaming PC company, and Bugs. And also the CEO of a company called MD Dow, which is the first medical metaverse company. So there you go.
Wow. Okay, we need another discussion on that in itself, don't we? Great. Sarah Serra.
Hello, I'm Sarah Serra. So I'm a French singer, songwriter, and music producer. So I make records for a living. I work with orchestras, and I'm experimenting with VR as well, and yeah, loads of. I'm mixing music and technology, and I'm also doing a PhD at the University of Bristol in experimental philosophy of music and technology. So again, I'm using my practice as an artist to research and experiment with the value of art in digital capitalism. So I think that I'm at the right place. Yeah, I'm interested in how artists are going to make a living in the future with this Web3 revolution. I think that we are at a crossroad here, and yeah, loads of stuff happening, and the artists have to be part of it. Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, thanks for that. You're DJing tonight, aren't you?
And I'm doing a DJ set tonight, so...
Yeah, brilliant. We look forward to that. Okay, and Tete.
So, hi, I'm Tete. I'm a French singer-songwriter. I've been in the industry for 20 years. And I started working with Sony Music 20 years ago, and then I went indie. And so during these independent years, I've started my publishing company, my label, my tour company as well. And I've started working with Sony again like a year ago. And I believe that I've had like zillions of partners in 20 years, but only one audience. And the reason why I'm here is I believe that data can help me connect more with my audience. And we're going to discuss this later, but I want to know who are the main drivers, who are the people who share my content the most, to check them out and have a day-to-day relationship with them.
Great, thank you. Powerful stuff. And demo day, guys, you know, this is your time to listen in, because there's some great data stuff going on with the music tech startups here. Okay, so needless to say, we've got some magic sitting on the stage today. I've got three main questions in the time that we have today. So the first one is that music tech, you know, right now it's all about artist services, so like licensing, collection, royalties, marketing, distribution, etc. So my question, Tete, actually, we'll go with you first. You know, how do you as an artist navigate all of the tools that are out there and bring them into your daily life as an artist?
Well, I had to dig into the concept of KPIs, because I'm not school trained or anything, so I had to read books at night. And I had to be like, well, I have targets. For instance, I want to play more gigs. I want to have a bigger audience on Instagram per se. So if I want to have another 20,000 people in 2 years, if you break it down, there's going to be a certain amount of followers per month, per week. So how can I make sure that I hit my targets? And this is where the dashboard comes into play. And I subscribe like 15 services, and it takes a lot of time, my assistants, to do it for me. But I need like a single platform integrated with all my KPIs, custom integrated, so that I'm just a click away from this information every Monday. I want to know whether what I'm implementing is working or not. And I don't want it to take more than 30 minutes every Monday morning, because the rest of the time I'm supposed to be creating music.
Yeah, and how are you currently doing that then at the moment?
I have an assistant that I train. I came up with my own Excel sheets and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this is where we're heading at, and you're going to help me do that. And it's a series of bets, basically. This week, this month, we're putting the bet on that. We're going to try that. Maybe it's going to work. Maybe it's not going to work. But I need to monitor whether the things I'm implementing are working or not. Hence the KPIs and all these things. I know it's weird for an artist to talk like that, but it has also helped me communicate better with the marketing people, whether in artist services or with Sony Music, because I need to speak their language. And we're talking in the boat this morning that tech guys and artists, they need to talk more together, because sometimes, I'm trying to keep it short, sorry, but sometimes people like give me very fancy tech solutions, and they remind me of these showers in boutique hotels. They're very nice, they're very fancy, but I have no idea how to turn on the hot water. And we need, tools that are more, fit with our actual needs.
Yeah, spot on. And in a nutshell, out of 10, how well is your system working for you right now, out of 10? 10 being the best.
I would say 6.5. 6.5, because I'm getting there, I'm hitting my targets, but it's still taking too much time. And all the time I'm spending on this, I'm not communicating with people who can like help me grow. I'm not writing songs. I'm not getting inspired. I'm not reading books. So hence this 6.5.
Yeah, there's a bit of a way to go there, isn't there?
Yeah, but I bet you guys are going to help me get there.
Yeah, I'm sure I can spot a couple already that can. Sarah, what about you?
Well, I guess that I'm lucky that I'm working with a small record company, so we have like a pretty close relationship, and they have, loads of vision about these things. Hello, yeah. Yeah, so I'm signed to One Little Independent in the UK. It used to be One Little Indian. Yeah, so they have loads of information about these statistics and stuff. And then I guess I'm pretty old school, so I used to be a developer, so I have analytics on all my socials and all this stuff. So I have like data. But then I have another vision, is that I don't want to subscribe to this AI policy, and I'm sort of like trying to rebel against it. So, I'm contractually, I have to have social media and stuff like that, because, it's in my record contract and stuff. But really, I think that we have to find another way, and we need to, we just need to find another place and another way to make it work. I think that this data thing, we need to really rethink it, and we need to talk about data dignity. I think that it's not okay the way they use us, whether it be streaming platforms or social media platforms. I think that, artists have to, stand up for themselves, and we need to rethink this data policy and the algorithms and stuff like that. So I don't really want to actively work towards the, how do I get more followers? How do I do that? I don't want to subscribe to that. So yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit of a rebel.
Oh, it's fair.
Yeah,
it's fair.
It's totally fair, and I'm wondering how many other artists have that same mindset.
Well, that's why I'm here. We need to be more, and we need to create a movement, and we need to say stop to these guys and do something else. So I think that Web3 is the opportunity for us to do that, and no more platforms and no more centralized guys that are, dictating the way we have to behave. And
Right.
yeah. So.
If you were to summarize why Web3 is the way for you, what would it be?
Well, I guess, for me, it's decentralization means that we have to take responsibility for the web. And, I think that, when I say these guys, I talk about, obviously, big tech corporations. And I think that, we have the opportunity to remove them because we know how they work. We know how they use our dopamine systems to get into, a loop. And I think that, it's just meant to collapse. So we need to use this Web3 sort of revolution to, have a different vision and, start to build something that's, a bit more healthy and, and that also, I don't know, probably more fair to us and the way we earn money and, we own our own stuff, because you're not without knowing that once you post something on Instagram, it's not yours anymore. It's,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a healthy way forward is definitely...
For the planet, for the environment, for the artists, I think that, we have something to do here. And for me, that's what Web3 is. It's about, removing the toxic sort of vibe of the internet and trying to build something different. So,
Great.
yeah.
Great. Web3 is out there. You're all doing something right. Arabian Prince, what are your thoughts?
For me, it's a little different because I've been in this, I've been making music for 41 years. And, we all started independently, making our own money. Then we went to majors and quickly realized that, wait a minute, we're not making as much money as we were making independently because we were, selling our records out the trunk at NWA at the beginning. And we'd sell an album and we'd make $10. Then when we went to the major, we'd sell an album, we'd make $1, barely. And then we owed the record company for all this other stuff. So once we, quickly figured that out later on and went back to being independent, I never wanted to go back, right? And I also understand in this capitalistic society we live in, social media works for the companies, not for us in a way. Like you can have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, 1 million followers. If you put something out there, but the way that it works, you don't reach your 1 million followers or your 10,000 or 100,000 followers unless you pay them. It kind of goes out, the algorithm kind of goes, okay, you posted this, we'll give this to a few of your followers here, then there, then there. Oh, but if you pay us a bunch of money, then you can reach, you guys know, you can reach your target audience if you give us money. And, that's got to change. And I've been in the blockchain space for about since 2008, since the beginning of the blockchain in Web3. And like she was saying, decentralization, putting the power back into the artist's hands is the way to go. And artists have to realize that they are the brand, they are the company, they have control of their own fan base. And if they want to share their fan base with companies, the companies should actually pay for that, as opposed to the other way around. You know what I mean? Imagine if these, the Megan Thee Stallions or the Tyler, the Creators decided like, you know what? I'm pulling all my fans off social media. These big companies will pay the money to Tyler, Creator to get access to his fan base. So we as the creators have to realize that we have the power and control as opposed to the other way around. So that's kind of where I see it.
Yeah, and so to kind of build on that, how many artists do you think are aware or able to cross that bridge from analog into blockchain? Is there a gap that needs crossing? And if yes, how could that be crossed? Yeah,
there's a big gap. And the guy from Winamp was talking about something earlier about him building a new platform. The problem is the companies who are building these platforms have to understand that artists are artists. Artists, like you said, don't really want to take the time to do all of this other stuff. And especially these platforms, they were going, okay, we have all of these tools for you to use. They're artists. They just want to create. They don't want to take the time to focus on tools and these things. It's hard enough to get an artist to write down who's involved on the song that they did. You know, like, okay, I did a track, this person, that person, you know, try to create a song sheet so people can get their published. And artists don't even do that to get their own money. So how do you expect them to deal with tools? So you have to really simplify these tools. I'm working with a lot of companies. I'm on the board of some companies trying to help these companies simplify their tools for artists to make it more easier for artists to just do what they do, put in a little bit of information, and get a lot out of it. So we have to kind of get more artists. I guess, you know what it is? We have to get more artists involved with the tech as opposed to it just being driven by engineers and the people building the technology.
Yeah, spot on. And actually, Tete, this is something that you were talking about on the boat. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think this is very interesting, and I was listening to you guys, and we may not be supported the same positions, but I think we're going the same way. Because 20 years back, I was making a living busking in the streets of Paris. So I had to think really hard about the rules of busking. And it was about being at the right street corner at the right time. For instance, this morning, if I want to communicate with you guys, this is the right street corner to be standing. If I was saying the exact same thing right in the street, I would be speaking in the void. And if I put this in data context, this is what it can help us do. Finding the right street corner, the right time, to speak to the right people who are interested in what we're delivering. And you were very right. Now, tech companies are charging artists to help them reach their audience. That's the main model. But second model is growth hacking. And this is what I've been keen on doing for the past 3 years. Like, how am I going to reach the same number of people, not paying, but growth hacking? And I like the sentence that say, do you work for your money, or does your money work for you? And I believe it's the same with the algorithm. Do I work for the algorithm, or is the algorithm working for me? And the only chance that I have, because I'm not a tech company myself, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, is to have the right monitoring tools. And just trying to keep it really short, during lockdown, I was at home, just like everyone else. I had no resources. And I found out that I had like this audience right there that was willing to communicate with me. I started putting on music on the web for free, just for kicks. And it grew up into a project that were like, make a record out of it. And I was like, I don't have the money to make a record with it. They were like, let's make a crowdfunding. And we raised 40,000 euros in a month to make the record a reality, and we gave money to the hospitals. And it was all thanks to that. And I didn't use the sponsorship programs to do that.
Guys, can we have a round of applause for that? That's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
Yes. But I was just saying that there's hope out there, and we need to know the logic of all this infrastructure to be able to like anticipate the moves. And this is very smart and very accurate when you're saying that we're being charged for our own audiences. Having said that, I also believe that you guys have been working like for decades to engage your audiences in a one-to-one way. And I believe that a corporation, a headless corporation, will never be able to engage them as well as you do, because people can tell when the wording was written by like a manager or something. It sounds empty. You know what I mean? It's as if your wife calls you, it's her phone number, but it's not a voice. It's not the words she uses usually. You're not going to buy it. And I think that's a strength nobody can take away from us.
Yeah, powerful words, really incredible. Sarah, I have a different question. It's kind of building from that. We're looking at kind of more the pain points now of artists. Like, can you think of a pain point as an artist that you would want to solve with tech or data?
Well, I guess, you know, it's the same sort of like problem that we have, is that we are the, you know, you don't pay for social media and stuff like that, so we are the products, right? And yeah, I guess that my main problem is that I have to go through these platforms and sort of like conform to what they dictate, and I would like to find another way to reach my audience, and yeah, as you were saying, like understand where they are and, you know, what they would like to, you know, to experience as an audience, and yeah, so I guess it's about not having to be on these platforms to do yeah, to reach the audience, I guess would be my point.
Yeah, okay, great. So that's a pain point to consider. Arabian Prince, is there something else that comes to mind for you?
Wow, pain point. I've been pretty happy. I've been pretty happy in my life, but, you know, I feel, you know, I'm actually a champion for artists now, you know, because we've gone through it for so many years, and I'm a mentor to a lot of upcoming artists, and I really believe that the struggle is real. You know, starving artists, it's real. It's a real statement. But we have to put the proper information and knowledge out there for the upcoming artists. So like you guys were saying, so that they can have the proper tools to succeed, right? So that's what this conference is about, is, you know, reaching out to people in the tech space, all forms of tech. One thing I often say is we make a mistake when we segregate the different types of media now, from, you know, music to film to television to gaming. We're all talking about it in different contexts as opposed to looking at everything as one thing now. And, you know, one thing that I really, really preach is, as an artist, as a musical artist, when you create your music, in the beginning, you really need to understand that I'm not just creating this to put out a record or just putting out something to stream. I'm creating this for all medium because I can maximize my revenue stream by building the stems in the studio. Like, okay, I'm doing my record, but let me take these stems, let me take these instrumentals, let me take all of these different things, let me send this to video games, let me send this for film, television, commercial, everything. Because you never know what's going to be your hit stream. You know what I mean? There's songs out there, like I did a song in 1987 called Supersonic by a girl group, JJ Fad, right? Cost $400. It was a B-side. We were, whatever. One of the biggest songs I've ever done. I mean, it was Fergalicious, it was Rap God for Eminem, it's been on every commercial known to man, it was in Sonic the Hedgehog. The song makes more money for me than anything I've ever done, because we've maximized putting it out there in different mediums. And I think that is the key now to the recording artists, is they have to understand that they're more than just a musician and a songwriter. It's bigger, and we have to kind of put it out there.
Right, and so when you're putting it out there, and the work that you're doing at the moment, how much work do you think there is to do with that for the artists? It's
actually simpler if you know where to put it. Like, you have to get to the right publishing company, to the right rights societies to help you put it out there. You know what I mean? So you have to find in your region or your country the company or companies that are willing to help you market and promote this music in different ways. And they'll do it because they're going to get a percentage of what you put out there, you know, whether it's 10, 20% or whatever, but it's worth it to get it to these places to push your music. And they'll push it because they want that 10, 20%. Ted knows, they'll push it. Like, give me all your songs. Everything I do, even if I hate the song, I put it out there. I've had songs that were the worst things I've ever created make me money in commercials. Just because it was like some raggedy beat I did. I'm like, I hate this. And then some director liked it. Who knew? You know, so you got to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, totally. I'm mindful of time. I've got one more question, and it's for all three of you. If you had a magic wand and you could create anything you wanted, a tool, an idea, to make your life the way that you would want it as an artist, what would your magic wand create, Tete?
Well, I believe that time is the one thing that's constricted I have 24 hours in a day. I can have a 25th hour in a day. So my perfect tool would help me do more things in less time. You can't create like that. You cannot be like, I'm going to be more creative. I'm going to have like twice as many ideas in an hour. It doesn't work like that. But the rest I can constrict. So then again, I would dream of like a magic app that has all the information that I need. And I was just saying something the other day. The first dinner I had with my wife, before she was my wife, I needed indicators. So I was like, is this going well? Is she smiling? Is she staying past last subway time? You know what I mean? But do I really need to have her blood pressure? Not so much. So I don't need to have I don't need to have like a zillion datas. I need to have the 10 good datas that's going to help me find my way through all of this. So that would be an app with access to all my social networks. For instance, then again, we just did something, the thing I told you about the crowdfunding, I did the same thing, like it stopped yesterday. It's for UNHCR. We raised 9,000 euros for the refugees. And I have a big following, but the Pareto principle, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, is there's like 20% that's gonna help me go there. I wanna know who these people are. I wanna know who are the people who share my contents the most, then again, because I wanna concentrate on them. Same as when I used to be in the streets 20 years back, I needed to know who were the 10 people in the bar who were really digging what I was doing, so that I wouldn't be concentrated on a table that doesn't ask for anything and I'm ruining their night. So I'm gonna be like, okay, dudes, I'm gonna leave you be, and I'm gonna try and interact with people who are into what I'm doing. Sorry if it was long. Sorry.
Yeah, got it. So to bottom line it, you mentioned a dashboard earlier as well. So access to socials, targeted information for your users or followers. And is there anything else that you'd have on that?
Custom KPIs.
Custom KPIs, right. Is anyone doing that? We'll find out later. Brilliant. Sarah?
Well, I guess for me it's more like from a philosophical point of view. I wish, more artists would step up and talk about, the problems that we have in the music industry and on the internet in general nowadays. So I guess that, it would be great to have like this sort of movement, and I think that it starts with us. And we just have to say something and, try to raise awareness about the algorithmocracy, as we call it. I wish that we could create a movement and just create really societal change. I think that it's we're talking about music here, but I think that we're not. It's a more global thing, it doesn't only concern music. I think it's it's a huge problem that we have, and we need to do something about it. So I guess that create a movement and bring artists together, because it starts with us, and we need to do something about it. So I guess that's why everyone is here and why everyone's interested in that. So
absolutely. And if that could be kind of summarized or put together as a tool, or how could you see what would you like to have in order to create that movement that doesn't exist right now?
As a tool, I guess that I don't know, some kind of like alternative to social media, I guess, some kind of free platform or something like that. Yeah, some kind of independent platform.
Great, lots to explore with that one. Lastly, and by no means least, Arabian Prince.
I just wish that Wallifornia would get all of its tech partners and create an app for all of us right
also.
now. Since we're here, Wallifornia.
Let's do it.
Jerome, where are you at, Jerome? He's over there. Jerome, me and Jerome are going to talk later about creating this app for the artist. That would be amazing, to put together all of the thoughts and ideas of all the artists and create something for the artist, by the artist. And I think that's what I wish would happen.
What a beautiful wish. I have goosebumps. Thank you so much. Everyone, please put your hands together for our great panellists. Thank you. We have time for questions.
Yeah, Ted's been over there raising his hand since we started. Ted.
For those of you who know me, my name is Ted Cohen. But for those of you who know me, I tell a lot of stories. This one applies totally to what you guys are doing. There's a band called Umphrey's McGee. People familiar? Anybody familiar? Umphrey's McGee? A couple hands. They're like a what's it called? String cheese, and they're a jam band in the States, sort of like a Grateful Dead. And their manager Vincent took me to lunch one day, and he says, "I need your help." I said, "What's up?" He says, "Here's my problem. Our band does 250 shows a year. They all make a really good living. They don't want to make a dime more than they're making now. They want to do 150 shows a year because when they get home, their kids look older now. Their wives are not happy like they used to be. So they want to be home 100 more days a year. So it's all about working smarter, not necessarily working harder. It's, you know, how do you maximize the opportunities?" You said at the beginning, I was intrigued, Teta, you said you want to do more shows. You want your shows to have more reach. You don't necessarily have to do more shows.
I do not, sir. I have 2 kids. I want to see them grow up.
You want to see them grow up.
I do.
So it's about working smarter. You should work hard, but your focus should be on working smarter, not necessarily putting in more hours a day. That's it.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I agree too. I think that I'm more, doing less shows and more quality, things that pay more, and so yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Hello. Because like you mentioned many times, like the wish of having different alternatives, different to social media, different. But like what I feel now is that like we are living in a moment in which like alternatives are like popping up like mushrooms. Like there are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of different solutions that are related to Web3 or not. There are it's really a period in which we are seeing platforms for connecting to fan base in different ways, like popping up very frequently in often repetitive way as well, I would say. How do you I don't know how to put this question. It's more like a consideration because I see that there are these alternatives. But the way you tell that, it seems that these alternatives are not there. So I feel like there is kind of a mismatching between like what's actually is been.
I understand your question. Okay. I think that I use the wrong word when I say alternative platform. I don't mean like platform, collective platform. I think that in my opinion, the future is like artists are going to have their own communities, like you have circular economies, local things. So I think that to me the future is, it's about the artist creating its own sort of like platform, independent community online. I think that, that's what DAOs are to me. And, so I think that's, that's the kind of thing we tend towards. And, the thing that I would like to see more and what I'm trying to do. So I think that, Did
you mean like open source with collective ownership?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, how do we define DAOs exactly now? It's not really clear. But I think that it's more that independent thing. And certainly away from centralized platforms. So I think that we see loads of things, being created and stuff, but I don't think that's the way. I think that I don't want to put my word, if I create an NFT, I don't want it to be lost in a million of things. I don't want another platform. That's what I mean, so I'm trying to experiment with NFTs and things like that, but I see it as, distributing it myself through my own independent way. So,
I may be wrong, but what I sense here is that the platforms that making money because this is an attention war. So they're getting attention with our content and then monetize it to advertisers who pay a lot of money to get their stuff exposed to the audience. So would it be the right, with a different business model, like where nobody else, no third party would make money off of your content by reselling the attention you create?
Yeah, well, I guess that, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's just you don't need a third party anymore. You know, you've got your own, you create your own economic, you know, ecosystem, I guess, as an artist. And that's what, you know, social tokens are here, and, you know, cryptocurrencies are going to help us, I think, and the blockchain. So, so to me, that's the real, you know, that's the real function of it. And we don't want third parties anymore. So, that's the future, I think.
We've got one more question. Thanks, Sarah, up at the top.
Hi, everyone. So first of all, I'm really grateful to be here today, because I think it's an opportunity, in a sense, and we are shaping the culture to some sense also. So Tete, Sarah, and Urban Prince, and so that thanks for that moment. You talk about solution. I think I have the solution about what you were talking about. 2 years ago, I'm an artist actually. I'm a singer. I decided to build an app for artists, because the problem of the artist is the lack of visibility most of the time, because you can have 1,000 followers, but who is the person who is interested actually about your music and who come to your show and actually stream what you're doing? So I created an alternative of a social app that aims actually to connect the artist directly to the right public, with the aim of not liking what you're doing, but sharing what you're doing. And my goal is actually to shape the future of social app and media and actually the music industry by working through NFTs and Web3. So it'll be my pleasure to talk with you after all this.
Great. Thank you. Good one. We have one more. We've got one question just here. We have time? We're done?
Yeah. You don't have, but it's important.
Is it
subject,
quick?
So let's continue.
Thank you. Super quick one. We were speaking of third parties and get enough of third parties. I get the intent here, but given that the technology of moving through bots, meaning is not the fact that we need to find trustable parties, because I see it difficult to do without parties dealing with everything, creation part, distribution part, and maybe we can trust supportive tools, but the things about how to trust these third parties, and soon we are going to trust maybe robots, not even only humans, which will help us reach our audience. What do you think about it?
Wow, that's probably quite a deep, long question. Is anyone one of you able to bottom line in 3 sentences? Go.
Yeah, I think that that's our big problem right now, is that no one knows how the algorithm works, and no one has visibility on what's actually in there. And I think that we need regulation from governments. We need activism from artists and other people, you know. And so that's what we need. But you know, as long as we don't have that, there's no way it will be healthy and you know, a good thing. So yeah.
Thank you. Great. Well done. Okay. Yep. Go for it.
Thank you. You guys talked a lot about monetizing your music, which is obviously seems like the primary focus, of course. But I'm just interested to know, as artists, how much do you value yourselves as brands and stuff outside of direct music? So obviously things like endorsement, merchandise, and other revenue streams. How important is that for you guys, do you see?
I can answer part of that really quick.
Great.
That's what I preach to all the artists. You are a brand. You're everything. You're not just a music artist. You've got to, I mean, my business partner is Ice-T, and I joke with him. He just had a concert in LA Thursday. And on the way to the concert, I stop at this chicken strip place in LA called Raising Cane's. I pull in, and there's a picture of Ice-T in a cup of iced tea like this. And I'm like, really? Really? And then later on TV, Ice-T is doing a Cheerios commercial doing yoga. I mean, Ice-T, the gangster rapper, is doing yoga and is in, so as a brand, you gotta do what you gotta do to make money. And that's what I preach and believe in.
What a great way to end. Ice-T and a cup of tea. Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, Arabian Prince, Sarah, Tete. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. It's time for a short break, 20 minutes, and let's come back a little bit later for the next content. We've found an iPhone. Yeah. I will show it. Yeah, I know. Yeah,